This is Sam from Uniondale, and you're tuning into another edition of the Samianalyze show. Folks, Knicks fans, this one is for you. The Knicks, Obi Toppin, it's being reported by Newsday's Steve Popper that Obi Toppin and the Knicks are set to part ways. Let's analyze. Is Obi Toppin going to be finally traded? Well, folks, this is a guy in Obi Toppin, to me, I've been a fan of. Since he was drafted in 2020 by the Knicks, the 8th pick out of Dayton, player of the year. He was actually, out of all the players drafted that year, they're like, this guy has potential to be a superstar. And I mean, all these predictions, I mean, this guy can be a special talent and all this. Were they wrong? I don't think they were wrong. I don't think they were wrong at all. I think Obi Toppin, unfortunately, he was drafted at the wrong time. Not to the wrong place because he's from Brooklyn, but at the wrong time. What happened as soon as he was drafted? He was drafted to, quote unquote, to replace Julius Randle, who showed that he did, he struggled in the playoffs. That was later on that year. He would show that he would struggle in the playoffs, had a bad attitude at times. So, in listening to this report, how do we feel about this, Knicks fans? It would seem to me that the Knicks have dug their foot in the sand if this is going to happen, right? If this is going to happen, and I believe that, you're always hearing rumors. Look, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that if the Knicks are going to make a move, it's going to possibly be Obi or Randle. It's going to be one or the other, and I'm a fan of Obi Toppin's. I mean, when this guy gets starter minutes and he averages about 18 points a game. Now, the rebounding, you definitely want to see that improve, about 4 rebounds, and you want him to improve. But when you see this guy play, you see he gets down the floor like a gazelle. The guy can shoot his free throws. And the thing that I love with Obi Toppin is when it counts, he's not afraid. It doesn't seem like he's afraid. Like, for example, the Knicks' last game was, Game 6. That was May 12th. And where the Knicks lost 96-92. Yeah, all right. It happened. And Obi Toppin had 7 points. He had 7 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. But here's the deal. He was 40% from 3, 2 for 5, 40% field goal wise in 12 minutes. See, the thing with Obi has always been give him more time. If you give him more time, he will produce. You saw that when he started off that series against Miami, he had 18 points. When given the time, he played, he played 31 minutes. He was 7 for 15 from the field, 46.7% a field goal percentage, 3-pointers. He was 4 for 11, 36%. But the thing is, he shows you that he can be a talent. And I think this is why Knicks fans have wanted him. I mean, he's a homegrown talent. He's a Knick, and he's a player that people are like, you know what? Hey, let him be here over Randle. He's got a great personality. He doesn't have a bad attitude. Let him rock. I think this report, it makes sense. But I don't know. I thought that we were going to see a lot of moves leading in on draft day or leading up into the draft. All we see right now is Bradley Beal has been moved. Could there be moves tomorrow? Look, listen. Everybody is tied to the Knicks. Any free agent, any possible trades. Everybody is saying the Knicks are going to do this. The Knicks are going to do that. You know who we don't hear from? You know who we don't hear from? Leon Rose. Leon Rose. So until we hear it from the man himself, shh. That's it. You know what we hear when it comes to Leon Rose? You know what we hear when it comes to Leon Rose? You know what we hear? That's what we hear. We hear nothing. Leon Rose. And I wonder if Leon Rose is sitting back and saying, laughing, oh, I'm doing this now. Hey, Wes, you heard what they said I'm doing? You hear what they're saying? Hey, Allen Houston, you hear what they're saying? Rokas, you hear what they're saying? So, look, listen, I think that the Knicks are not, just in looking, everybody is thinking that the Knicks are going to make moves. And I said, that the Knicks are going to make this major move. Now, you're hearing that, if Obi were to be moved, who would he be moved for? You're hearing ties to Indiana because they need a power forward. And Obi and Halliburton, man, that would be the modern day Nash and Amari Stoudemire. I think. Could you imagine? That would be insane. And I think the Knicks have to be careful with that. And I get it. If he needs to be traded, he has to be traded. I wouldn't want to see that. I would not want to see that. But you put Obi with a Halliburton? Man, that would be insane. There's a guy who's also a former All-Star who makes a lot of money. In Zach LaVine. In Zach LaVine. I believe Zach LaVine's contract, $215 million. See, the thing with that is and Zach LaVine, I had to look. I mean, he's still young, 28 years old. He's a guy who I'm worried about his knee. I'm worried about 215 mil. So, I was spot on with that. I'm worried about his knee because he did miss time last year. But I could see, look, if the Knicks move Obi, they're not just going to send him to Indiana and then have him and Halliburton terrorize us, for years. I'm a Knicks fan, so I say us, yes. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Knicks do. But I think if you're going to move an Obi, it's going to be in a trade package for maybe a Zion Williamson, maybe a Zach LaVine, maybe a Karl Anthony Towns, something like that. But honestly, I don't want to see Obi go. And quite honestly, I don't want to see the Knicks make a move to make a move. Look, listen, the Knicks are young. You know what? There's no rush. I get it. Obi looks like a trooper. You see him on his social media hanging out in New York. I mean, he was just getting a chopped cheese the Aki way. He was getting a chopped cheese. And then he was at a basketball tournament. I believe this past weekend I saw. I don't know which one it was. Funny story. I'm watching the live and then I saw a comment. Somebody was like, get Randall out of there. And out of nowhere, boop. It was over. He must have saw the comment like, you know what? This is the energy that they're on. I don't even want to deal. So here's the deal, folks. Obi Toppin. I'm not, and I get it. He wants to play. But maybe the Knicks work something out with him. Maybe Tibbs. And it's on Tibbs, right? I've always said it's on Tibbs. It's on Tibbs. Tibbs can be stubborn. It's on Tibbs to find a way to play him. I think he's a better, to me, he comes across as a better teammate, so than a Randall. Now, you can't replace 25 and 10, no question. And maybe he's not, beating Randall in practice, but Randall is an ox, man. He's a big guy. You know, I don't know if Obi can handle the brute force and strength of a Randall. But I just feel that running up and down the floor, complimenting an R.J. Barrett, I think long term, I would go with Obi. I would go with Obi. Maybe try to trade Randall for Zach LaVine, for Karl Anthony Towns, something like that. But we're going to see what happens. I don't want to see Obi go. I just don't. I don't want to see Obi Toppin go. I get it. It's only, 7 points a game. His rebounding, only 2 rebounds a game, almost 3, but he shoots 44% from the field. And the guy just shows you so much promise. So look, listen, we are going to see what happens, but I don't want to lose Obi, y'all. What say you? What do you say? Please like, subscribe, and you see that bell on the right? Please hit that notification bell. That will let you know whenever I drop another video. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, à tout à l'heure.